What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and try and complete a small list of small tasks that we have to finish on the Evo 8 before we can finally start moving on to installing the good stuff that we want to install. Well, with that, we can jump right into it. If you wanna follow me over here to the car, I can show you what we've been working on. Okay, so just to recap what we've done behind me in the previous video, if you do want to watch it, I'll link it somewhere up there. We did go through and we took out the trans mount and the motor mount on that side of the engine, hoisted the engine up just to support it, took those guys out, replaced that one, took this guy out, cleaned him up, refurbished it, painted it with a rust reformer, and then hit it with some high temp black gloss paint. In previous times, I did go through and clean up this transmission. One of the things on the list is to finish cleaning the transmission. So with this bracket and mount out, I'll be able to get in here, clean that all the rest of the way. And then the next thing on the list is going to be trying to fix these injector connectors. All of the connectors on the fuel injectors, I've mentioned in another previous video, they're all broken. None of them actually click into the injectors, so the chances of one flying off while I'm driving the car and not getting fuel to one cylinder is pretty high. So I went ahead and got 4 brand new connectors. They do all come with terminals. I am lucky though that it's the same connector, so I don't have to repin anything hopefully, unless one of the terminals ends up looking kind of weird, then I might have to just recrimp one. But I'll just go through, take those connectors off, and then put the new connectors right in with the old terminals. Last on the list is going to be trying to get this rusty old broken dipstick tube out of the block and then replace it with a new one that we got off STM. So let's jump into it and see if we can get all these tasks done. I'm going to go ahead first by using some PB, try and get down and spray right where the dipstick tube meets the block. Hopefully that'll make it so that we don't break anything. Okay, so now that you guys are sitting directly in the engine bay, I am going to go ahead and try to gently wiggle this guy, hopefully without breaking it even more. We'll see if the PB blaster does its job. So it is moving, I do see that. Alright, it is sticking a little bit. Okay, so it is giving me a little bit of trouble trying to get it out, so I'm going to throw it on a time lapse so that you guys don't have to sit there and watch me struggle for a few minutes. But let me jump on that and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so as you can see, we did get it out. It's honestly not looking too bad. At first, it did have a little bit of like oil on it, and for a second I thought there was no O-ring and that like it got stuck in the motor and I was gonna have to pull the pan. But luckily it didn't. It is still right there and it actually is looking like it's in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna swap that O-ring over as long as it doesn't crack on the way out. Throw it onto the new dipstick tube and then go ahead and try to get that installed. However, I will say, I don't know if you can see it, but the oil on the dipstick isn't looking too bad. It actually looks kind of fresh, aside from like the rust. So sometimes I do get lucky and I am smart and I do go back through my email and make sure that I didn't already buy a part. So it turns out I actually already have a new O-ring seal for the dipstick tube, so I don't have to reuse the old one, which is good. It does come with another bolt for the bracket, so that's one more thing that cannot be rusty. And then it even comes with a small O-ring right there for the top, like where you actually pull the dipstick out. So if you take a look, it's obviously a lot better looking. This guy fits in here a lot better. It's not missing this bracket that apparently at some point is rusted off. And as smart as I was to remember about this, I wasn't smart enough to remember that I already bought a new nut for that trans mount. So I'm gonna have another one now. So maybe I'll be able to find another rusty nut somewhere on that motor that's the same one, and I can replace that. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw that O-ring back on. We can try to get back in the car. So truth be told, I did go on a bit of a side quest. Before reinstalling the dipstick, I did kind of go through and just start trying to clean up back here, because I am going to be repainting this part of the block. So I went through and used a brush, tried to remove any loose stuff, and then I went and used my drill, tried to remove more. I'm starting to contemplate maybe taking this guy off, moving it back just to make it easier to paint. But in the process of cleaning down there, I did happen to find another bolt that was just kind of sitting on the engine. So hey, I got a free bolt. So there is like a real solid chance that I have possibly the worst, most uncurable case of the while you're in theirs, because I literally can't stop myself from taking more things off and fixing them, cleaning them, and then reinstalling them. So let me show you what I'm doing now. So I did go ahead, remove that bracket that was here. It holds up the intake manifold. So now we'll be able to go through, continue cleaning over here, get any of the spots I wasn't able to get before, and then go ahead and I guess try to get that painted and reinstalled. But I still do have to clean like the head and the whole back of this motor anyway, so I guess it is good to get it out. Okay, so as you can see in the time lapse, I did go ahead and get that nice and cleaned up. After the time lapse ended, I did go ahead and throw my mask on, got a little deeper in there just because I realized, like, why am I not wearing a mask when there's rust flying everywhere? So don't follow my lead, make sure you wear a mask the whole time. So I did go through and I hit it with the Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. So it's actually looking pretty good. Let's take a look. So as you can see, it is nice and painted black. It is still drying, so it's not like 100% the color it will be. I wasn't able to reach like absolutely every last little bit of spot down there, but to be honest, ultimately the goal with this is just to get it so that it's protected, because I don't want to keep going in the future with it just continuing to rust more and more and more and more without taking the layers off and trying to seal it. So honestly, I'm super happy with the results. So now that I have that bracket off that was going to be supporting the intake manifold if it was installed, I have that on the bench. I'm going to go over there and try and get that cleaned up and painted as well. Okay, so we're back at it, different day, but same old problems with the Evo. We are making progress though, so we'll go ahead and jump back into it. I'll show you guys what I've been up to off camera and all the painting and cleaning I've gotten done. So this is the bracket that holds up the intake manifold that bolts onto the back of the block. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably the best result I've had from refinishing a piece, like sanding it down, or I guess wire wheeling any of the rust off, and then I did 2 coats of the Rust Reformer and then 1 coat of the high temp black gloss paint. This is just the bracket with the sensor that goes in the back of this guy. I hit it with a primer and then I'm gonna hit it with the gloss black. But with that, we'll jump back onto the car and I'll show you guys the back of the block. Well, here is the final product of the painting for the short block, or the block, I guess you'd call it. It looks okay. It obviously doesn't look as good as it would if it was like from factory. Honestly, I think that the Rust Reformer color actually ended up looking better. I did the gloss black just because I kind of thought it was going to look better, but I mean, it doesn't look bad, and honestly, no one's really looking at the back of the block anyway. It's really more for function of making sure that the rust isn't spreading or getting any worse. So with that, let's finally get off of this side quest and jump back on our actual quests. So I do have some paint that I touched up in the back of the block drying up, so we're going to hold off just a little bit for reinstalling the dipstick tube. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and jump on this guy. I'm going to go through here, clean up all this chipped off white paint from trying to take the bracket out, try to get this guy all cleaned up. Just as an update, I do have a new bushing coming for the trans mount that we were just showing, or where it would go. So there was a guy, shout out to Evo Lad in my last video, who had left a comment down below and said that he used PowerFlex bushings. It's a company out of the United States, and they do bushings for like all suspension and motor mounts. But the problem that I ran into on the search through their website was like, it was hard with the language trying to figure out exactly if that was for this trans mount. So I ended up not pulling the trigger on those polyurethane bushings, but I did in turn find an STM part. I think it's Torque Solutions, and it actually does have the diagram and it shows like it is for that mount. So I did pull the trigger, go ahead and got that, but thank you EvoLad for the advice, because it made it a lot easier to try to be able to find it and not have to buy a whole new OEM part. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump on trying to get this clean. I'll probably throw it on a time lapse and enjoy me cleaning a transmission. So with the time lapse and then just a little bit of extra off-camera cleaning, we were able to clean up this side of the transmission. Obviously it's not perfect, and honestly to get back in there under the shifter linkage, it's kind of just impossible unless you take the shifter linkage off, and I'm honestly just not going that far. So to get this cleaned up, I just used a combination of engine degreaser and then brake clean in order to clean it off, using a brush and my drill with the wire wheels and like a wire. It's like a longer attachment. So I am happy with it. It does look good. Obviously it's not sparkling brand new. The only way you're gonna get that is like dry ice blasting or media blasting, and that's obviously not an option for me right now. So for what it's worth, I think that's working just fine. So let's jump back on the list and let's get that dipstick tube installed. Okay, so got this guy all lubed up. Just did a little WD-40. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the dipstick itself and just kind of try to get this guy snugged in there. Hopefully no problems. All right, I mean, that was pretty easy, which is honestly surprising with this car. Okay, so we do have it all installed. I couldn't really get it completely in when I had the camera set up in the engine bay, just because like I didn't have enough room to like use my arms. But when you are seating it, the O-ring is gonna go right here on the bottom, and then there's this upper like O-ring style piece that's like built into the tube. That upper piece, that is where it has to be seated against the engine block. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead, keep on moving. Okay, so I have gone ahead and I've fixed the first injector connector. It turns out there actually was nothing wrong with the connectors themselves. They were fine. They actually just look kind of broken from factory, but it turns out the reason that they weren't staying in, and I'm sure a lot of Evo guys know this, is because if you look, there's a little like clip here. It's like a retaining clip, almost looks like a staple. So all the injectors were just missing that. So that's why they weren't staying in place. So I did go ahead and I did put a new injector connector on this first two terminals, but I didn't realize there's an updated part. So with this one that came on it, you can see there's like a little crack in the middle, and you're able to like kind of put it over the connector after the terminals are plugged in. So it kind of makes sure the terminals are kept in place. So the new one's like an updated number. There's no hole in the middle, there's no split. So I had to depin the connector that I just put on, pull them back out, and then put it back on and put the, I had to slide this guy over the terminals first, plug the terminals in the connector, and then slide that over onto the connector. But in the process of taking off the new connector that I had just installed, I ended up breaking the little plastic tab that keeps the terminal in place. So I did just go ahead and put the old connector back on and then just swapped the retaining clip over. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll show you how to take the terminals out of a connector and then put them in the new connector. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best here to try and show exactly what you do. So this is the new connector. You can see the difference in the retainer, how like there's no split. So you have to put this guy over the terminals first before you install it. This guy, actually super easy. You just take two flathead screwdrivers, and if you can't really see, but right there and on the other side, there's a little clip. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna put a screwdriver in and just push to the side and then do it, and then pull it off. Then you go to the other side, put the screwdriver in. So you push the clip over and then you push with your finger up, and you should be able to pull this guy right up. Then you do it to the other side, same thing. Push to the side, and you can see it's starting to come off, and then this guy just pops right off. So now I got this guy off. Go ahead and start depinning. Okay, so now the depinning process is honestly kind of a pain, to be honest. So it is hard to show on camera, but I'm gonna push in and then push that way to try to release this terminal. So you can see I pushed down and then forward, and then I just at the same time was pulling, and then this terminal will just come right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo it on the other side. And then this guy should slide right out. Good, no broken connectors. So now that we got the two terminals out, I'm gonna go ahead and get it ready to put the next one on. So if you're looking at it like this, you can see that the terminals are on the bottom, and then there's these two holes up top, like closer to like this finger. And what you're gonna do is you put a tiny, I'm using a pick, like a straight pick. You put it in that top hole where there is no terminal, and you're gonna push down and then push towards like this finger. And when you do, that should release a piece of plastic that's gonna let the terminal slide out. Okay, so now what we have to do is, so injector connectors, the wires, it doesn't matter which one goes in which spot, so don't get worried about that. You just need a signal on the ground, so it doesn't really matter. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna slide this guy, because like I said, there's no slit in it, so you have to put it on first. So I'm gonna slide one terminal through, kind of get it nice, and then put the other terminal right after it, because you can't really fit both at one time. Stick those through. Kind of try and get a little of the harness sheathing in there. It's so brittle though. Maybe just try to pull it back as far as I can. And then we're gonna take the new connector. So it'll be this side is where you're pushing up to release it. So we're just gonna put it back in just the same way. One here, and then one here. Probably do one first, get it going, and then stick the other guy in. So then you're gonna just go make sure that the insulation is completely seated. And then it should be all set. And you gotta give the tug test. Make sure it doesn't come out, which it's not. And then you just slide this guy right back over. Go ahead, click him into place. And we have just replaced the injector connector on the Evo 8. So I'm gonna run through, get those done, and then probably wrap this video up. Okay, so I ran through, finished doing the injector connectors. They are all set. They have the retaining clips, so now they actually will be able to stay on the injectors, and we'll be able to keep moving forward. It is exciting to finally see things starting to shape up. Everything from like cleaning the transfer case, cleaning the transmission, cleaning and painting the back of the block, getting those brackets done over there, getting it all painted, just refinishing everything. Getting really excited for like what is to come with this Evo build. I really am shooting to try to get it done by this summer, just so I can start taking it to some shows and really enjoying the car for the first time, instead of like just having it sitting in my garage. And hopefully I'll be able to see you guys all out there. But with that, that is all I have for this video. Thank you for coming along. I appreciate people being here for the small task journey that is the Evo 8. Unfortunately, you just have to go ahead and do a bunch of really boring, tiny, small, annoying things before we can start putting cool stuff on and actually start to see progress. But honestly, like I posted on my Instagram, even just seeing a brand new dipstick tube installed, even though it's not like a big deal, it's not a new turbo or anything, it's just cool to see actual progress and like finally getting a rebuild started, not just a tearing down and restoring type of build. But with that, thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Make sure, if you do like the video, give it a little like, because it really does help with growing the channel. And make sure you comment, subscribe. Honestly, tell me down below, what would be, if you're an Evo guy, what would be like the one thing you definitely do need to get done on a motor that you're building for an Evo? Just like it's a no questions asked, has to be on the car. I've been looking at the Quigley, I think it's called. It's a oil pressure regulator for the cylinder head. Apparently it keeps it at like a consistent, I think 15 psi oil pressure in the head, just so you can keep more oil in the pan where it belongs. So I'm thinking about getting one of those. Other than that, I don't really think there's too much that I'm missing. I think I've kind of covered all the bases as far as like safety mods and things that are going to be good to help with the engine health. But like I said, with that, if you like the video, go ahead, comment, subscribe, like, share. And until the next one, I will catch you guys later. Peace out and keep wrenching.